All right, welcome folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. This is going to be your Monkey Minute. It's Sunday, 6/12/2022 at about high noon. And without further ado, let's hop over the board. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell for notification to get the latest and greatest. Also, don't forget we've got an app out there that is free. You can download, and that'll give you push notifications as well as all of our other content from the shop to blogs, etc. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so either at Patreon or over on YouTube as a member, and you get access to content that is ad-free as well as other things that we do for our members. So, all right, without further ado, let's talk a little bit about this headline. Now, this is stuff that you're not going to see popping up and bubbling on our mainstream media, at least not here in the U.S. But this one here is kind of interesting. Israel puts an airstrike onto Syria and damages the Damascus International Airport's main runway. They did this the other day and basically stopped a handful of flights from getting in and out. I'm sure they're working on the repair for that, but the reason this is important is because if you know Isaiah 17, it talks about the fact that we will wake up to Damascus in ruins overnight, and that Israel basically takes it out. Probably because Iran or Russia or somebody gets into that region. It is not far from the border of Israel, and if you've got a nuke in there or a dirty bomb, you could actually probably get to Israel from there, which would be really bad. So that's why you probably see this kind of activity taking shape and why it will go hot eventually. All right, now over here to as we continue on with Israel, Bennett is now warning that Iran is close to their bomb as nuclear talks remain at an impasse. Do know that Israel will take this out 100%, and I would imagine it's going to happen in the coming weeks because they cannot have a nuclear Iran. It's too big of a threat for them. It's actually a threat for us, folks, here in the U.S., and how our administration is actually courting them and paying for the programs is straight up treason. I don't know how they're able to do it and get away with it. But the world is on its head, isn't it? So, all right, let's move on over as we talk about dumpster fires. Biden is now reversing Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. That is in the latest. You can't make this stuff up. Absolutely amazing as we turn our backs on Israel as a nation. Not going to end well for the United States, I will tell you that. Because anytime you start talking about splitting up and dividing the land of Israel, that's God's land, God's people. He is not happy about it. And usually there has some type of repercussions for the country that's doing that. And so buckle up, because I have a feeling we will pay for this one in spades, folks. All right. Now, the other piece to this is that Biden is actually talking about putting in an Office of Palestinian Affairs in Jerusalem, as well as standing up a capital in Palestine. Which is an interesting spin, but nonetheless, this is not good at all. So, all right, let's move on from that. Let's get over to Flashbang's approval rating. Let's just take a quick gander at this one because it has now plummeted to 22% among young adults and 24% among Hispanics, which is kind of ironic when you think about the amount of folks that he's letting across our border. But I imagine as people go to the pump to put gas in their car, that number's going to get lower. More than likely, that approval rating is significantly lower than that. It may even be in the single digits. They just won't report that, and so you're going to get something along this lines that's a little softer. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to watch and see if he is removed by the political opponents or if we the people, actually take him out of office, because I don't know how he's going to remain in there for the rest of his term with a single-digit approval rating, and the fact that nothing seems to be going our way. We've got increased inflation through the roof, and gas pricing and everything else. Our economy is pretty much headed into the drink. So, okay, now let's get over here as we talk about this. Now, I showed this the other day in my sit rep. This is actually a compiled list. We're going to start down here at item number 11 because it is important. That starts us in 2022. And I want to show you the amount, starting here at 11 and working our way down, of processing plants or something along those lines that have been taken out or offline since this year began, okay? You can't make this up. This is absolutely incredible. But as you get through it, take a look at some of this stuff. The amount of chickens destroyed here in Iowa, look at that, 5.3 million. It continues on. Nebraska, South Dakota, Maryland, Delaware, all of these different plants. Look at that. That's from the 17th to the 24th. The amount of chickens we basically wiped out could feed probably most of this country. It's absolutely incredible, but it keeps going. And, we're only up to May here, and just notice we're at 90, 95 as we get into June 9th. And that does not include the energy company here in Texas that actually went offline. That's going to set them back about 3 weeks on liquid gas. So not good at all, but you can't make this stuff up. 95 occurrences total for 2021 and 2022, but most of this taking shape here this year, and you wonder why we have food shortages. This is incredible, and it can't be by accident. There's just no way this kind of calamity happens by accident. It's just crazy. So, all right. Now, speaking of taking food out of the mouths of babies, this is a Ukrainian grain warehouse left in charred ruins that is shelled by the Russians. And so this just took place on June 11th. They're saying up to 300,000 tons of grain may have been stored in these warehouses and was destroyed in the shelling this past week. So, all right, on over to what's coming our way. A significant burst of Saharan dust is on its way to the Gulf Coast. We just had this recently, but this is another blast of stuff that's coming across the Atlantic, and you can see it's going to get right in here and move its way right up into the southeast and up the east coast in the coming days. So just a heads up, if you notice things looking a little bit colorful in the sky, a little more yellow or dingy or hazy, this is why that stuff is in the air, okay? All right, now we started out in Israel. We're going to go to the opposite side, to China, where China's military buildup is the most ambitious since World War II. Australia is now warning. They're saying this is not good. I will tell you, as we watch all of these things start to unfold, not just in Europe, but in China, we look at the stuff going on in Shanghai, the China shutdowns, etc. We are definitely on a war footing, and we know this is probably going to not end well. One way or the other, there is getting ready to be a massive war around the world. No doubt about it. I don't see any of this stuff stepping down. In fact, everybody seems to keep building up on it. So this is the Chinese Navy. I just want to show you kind of the check this out. Looks just like the Stay Puft Man, doesn't it? I'm just pointing that out. Angry Stay Puft Man. So, yeah, this is good. Just a little comedy for you. But nonetheless, let's get back over here. So, all right. Now, speaking of China, check this out. Beijing is seeing an explosive COVID outbreak. Shanghai conducts mass testing. They're about to go on lockdown again, folks. This is not good. If you think our economy was already on the brink of collapse, if these folks shut down again and the ports don't re-engage in getting supplies out to the rest of the world, because everyone is so reliant on China, you're going to see a significant hit to the economy, significant globally. But the U.S. is getting ready to go right behind them, because this is not a good thing. Like I said, war is an economy. With everything starting to shut down, and if they go back through lockdowns again, you're going to see a war sooner than later, because countries are going to have to do something to stimulate their economy, and war will do that every single time. So, all right, listen, that's going to be our Monkey Minute for today. I hope you found this informative. Again, this isn't stuff you're going to see them talking about in the mainstream media, and so we need to be eyes on it, because it impacts us tremendously, okay? All right, that's it. Listen, stay frosty out there. Keep that powder dry, and we will see you tomorrow with our latest sit rep. God bless. Monkey out. latest gear at monkeywerxus.com.